guys. Welcome to Chelsea Football Talk with Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Initial thoughts, are we cursed? We are incapable of putting the ball in the back of the net. I mean, the chances that we missed in the first half, utterly absurd. Joao Felix, Kai Havertz, Mateo Kovacic. I mean, Kai Havertz, shambolic finishing. Joao Felix creates a ton, beautiful, lovely footballer, but has zero end product. Is he worth $100 million? I don't think so. Maybe 50, maybe 60, but 100 million? No thank you. And I think this is the story of our season, particularly against Liverpool, where they play that high line, especially in the first half. They were playing that high line, didn't have that intense press that they typically have, so we found ourselves easily getting past their back four. And we had tons of opportunities, but again, like all season, just an inability to convert. Bully and leadership know that we absolutely have to get a striker, a top-notch striker, in the summer. That has to be priority number one, because we need to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. But otherwise, it wasn't like we played atrocious. We actually played pretty well, pretty decent attacking football. But if you can't put the ball in the back of the net, then none of it matters. It could have been 2-3-0 at the end of that first half, but instead it was 0-0. Let's talk some positives, though. N'Golo Kante, man, what a great performance for him. Just classic N'Golo Kante. Winning the ball in the middle, clogging things up for their midfield, making them hard for Liverpool's midfielders to play through the middle. Those classic N'Golo Kante, runs off the transition, driving the ball forward. It was like vintage Kante, and it was so good to see. And I'm glad we took him out in the 69th minute to prevent any types of injuries, because he's going to be necessary against Real Madrid. He's going to play a big part in whether we beat Real Madrid or not. So great to have N'Golo Kante back. An absolute round of applause for the man. Another positive, defensively, I thought we looked excellent. West Fofana, Koulibaly, who I've given some grief to. They were excellent. They didn't give Liverpool's attackers an inch. They were positioned very well. They were incredibly athletic. They seemed just faster than Liverpool's attackers. And it was a positive defensive showing. I thought Cucurella played very well as well. Nobody really made any stupid mistakes. And getting a clean sheet is always a positive. So props to our defense as well. Let's get back to Kai Havertz. Shocking performance from him. On top of his display of finishing, he just looked disinterested. He looked like he didn't care. He was slow. He was lethargic. And this gets back to the problem that I have with Kai Havertz. It's a love-hate relationship. He plays well in these massive games and shows up, but throughout the season, doesn't look particularly great. And this comes back to the issue that we all have with Kai Havertz. There's an inability to stay consistent. And at this point, if you get 50 million, 60 million for Kai Havertz, I think you have to consider selling him. I mean, obviously, depending on who comes in, which players come in the summer. But I do think you got to consider looking to move him and capitalize on Kai Havertz, because it's been a number of years now where he has not performed as expected. Now, where do we go from here? I think we need a new coach in for the Real Madrid game, because, let's face it, Champions League is all we have at this point. So we need to get our coach in there. If it's Nagelsmann, if it's Enrique, those are two names I like. There's obviously negatives with both, but there's negatives with any coach. So I'm comfortable with either of those two names. I think they need to get him in ASAP so that they have the maximum amount of time to prepare for the Real Madrid. Otherwise, the Premier League season is really just a wash at this point. We're, I guess, 1 point closer to 40, which is safe from relegation. But otherwise, the Premier League is a wash, which is really unfortunate. A whole year, a whole season, especially after the spending spree that the ownership had in January, where things were really optimistic in January. And it's unfortunate. I really did not expect to find ourselves where we are, but it is what it is. Guys, let me know what you thought about today's game. What did you think about the performance from Joao Felix, from Kai Havertz? What did you think about our defensive performances? Who do you want as our new coach? Let me know in the comments. Give me a subscribe, and see you guys